Hey, welcome to the Kijagold podcast. It is I, Kijagold, the one and only. Any other one is a counterfeit. Don't believe them. This is the first video, episode 1 of my podcast. It will definitely be in many more parts, so consider this part 1. I'd like to start off this podcast by introducing myself. My name is Adora. I am 21 years old from Nigeria and I live in Poland. I studied architecture and I now work as an assistant architect. For now. I'm also a makeup artist. I do fashion on the side. I do some other things, some other side businesses, including hair. And I have another TikTok account, if you already know me by that account, where I just do makeup and do trends and random stuff. And also briefly just talk about, important topics. For this first video, I would like to be talking about being black in Poland, which is basically something I've talked about over and over again. First of all, just ignore my makeup. If you like it, then thank you. If you don't, you don't know what to say to you. I'd like to talk about being black in Poland and what we face as black people in Poland. I already made a video about this on YouTube last year. And the responses I was getting from that video was what made me actually want to talk about this again. Originally, when I made that video, I really didn't even think that anybody would take it seriously. I thought it was something that people would relate to, especially black people, which they did, I'm not gonna lie. But a lot of Polish people had a lot to say. And it made me wonder why it is such a controversial and sensitive topic in Poland. So I'm just going to state some of my own observations and my own point of view. If you don't agree with me, it's okay. It is my podcast after all. I'll talk about whatever I want to. Making a TikTok podcast is actually a bit hard because it's just 60 seconds, but we're going to try and be fast. So, my first observation about being black or just racism in general in Poland is that Polish people do not want to talk about these things. Polish people would rather pretend that it doesn't exist. How do I know this? Yeah, there are a lot of Polish people that would admit it and say yes, it exists. A lot of people would even apologize and tell you that they're sorry that their country is this way. While a lot of people will tell you that you don't even know what you're saying and that black people are the racist and that you are the racist for talking about racism as a black person. So that's just my first observation, and I don't understand. I understand why that would be, because of the lack of intelligence in some people and the choice to just be ignorant in general. But if you know what I mean, it's just ridiculous for you to tell somebody that their experience is invalid because you haven't experienced it. So how did I know that Polish people do not want to talk about racism? First, I made a video in 2020, I think. Yeah, 2020 on YouTube, or 2019. I made a video basically talking about being black in Poland. And the responses I was getting was that I don't know what I'm talking about. And that racism doesn't exist in Poland. And it was funny to me because how can you, who isn't black, tell me who is black and has experienced racism that it doesn't, whether it exists or not? It's still mind-boggling to me how people think in this day and age. A lot of things people even say to me when I post videos on my other account is what makes me even know that racism does exist, even worse than I even thought. People go to the extent to create accounts, troll accounts, to call you the N-word and make fun of you. They would make fake accounts just to make fun of me and try to call me the N-word and, just basically try to dismantle or try to discredit my own experiences because they don't want me to address these issues. They don't want me, a black person, to be able to have a voice in this area, in this part of the world. And till today, I still don't understand, that whole concept of go back to Africa, because this world belongs to everybody, okay? Everybody is entitled to this planet because we are all human beings. Yeah? As long as I have my visa and I have my passport and I was able to get into the country, you have no right to tell me where to go and when to go back to my country, okay? So you saying that alone just makes you look ridiculous, because that means that you don't even understand the ideology of, immigration. You don't understand the concept. And aside from just, go back to Africa, the whole thing where I don't understand the way Poles use the N-word so comfortably. Like, they even understand the meaning behind it. And when I talk about it, and when I even address it on my other page, the kind of responses I be getting is that, why can't I use it? They use it in the rap song. Why can't I use it? It's just a word. First of all, that rap song you're talking about, well, it was a black person that was singing it. Rap music was even made or invented by black people. So when a black person is rapping in a rap song and a person uses the N-word to refer to a brother in a song, or to refer to a friend or to a kin, they're not talking about you, white man or white boy. They're not talking about you, white girl. So it's not your place to use that word. It's not for you. The music wasn't made for you, so you don't use the word. It's very simple. Why don't people understand this? I don't understand. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it. It's you know, it's not making sense. It's not adding up, you know, why people are so eager and people want to use the word so badly that you go as far as saying that it's just a lyric in a song. And even if you understood the history behind that word, if you have respect for your ancestors or my ancestors or the people that died in the name of that word, you wouldn't even bother to use that word. It's just that simple. But no, people want to argue with me and tell me that it's just a word. I'm allowed to say whatever word I want to say. No, the thing is, you're allowed to say whatever word you want to say. But you're also allowed to be a decent human being, or just be a dickhead. And you get to choose which one you are. So if you want to choose that you are a racist and you are a piece of shit, then go ahead and be that piece of shit. But if you want to be a decent human being that respects history and respects people, then be that person. Okay? It's just very simple. There's no back and forth in that scenario. It's just very simple. Another thing that I think Polish people will consider sensitive or a sensitive topic is staring. Well, I came to Poland in 2018, and the first time I came here, I came to Lublin, and there were barely 30 black people in the city. So, the staring was quite a lot, and I was still new to that because where I came from, they weren't staring like that. But yeah, they were staring, and I honestly, at first, I thought something was wrong with me, but then I realized, no, something's wrong with them because, you know, they've not seen black people before. You know, we look like animals from the zoo. They are at Madame Tussauds. They're looking at wax figures right now, so they can't control the way their eye moves. And somebody argued with me and told me that, oh no, it's Polish culture to stare. My guy, bad habit is not a culture. Like, I'm just gonna say bad habit is not a culture. Staring is just wrong in general, and it's rude, you know. And I don't understand why it's hard. Like, I don't understand why it's hard to understand how staring is rude. It's just very simple. We are all human beings. We have two eyeballs. We are allowed to use our eyes and see whatever we want to see. But when you're looking at somebody for more than 5 seconds and the person turns at you and looks at you, it is respect, etiquette, human courtesy to just look away, even if you're going to look back and keep looking. But when they look at you and they notice that you're looking, you have to stop. But no. The people here, they will look at you while you're looking at them dead in the eye. Like, you will lock eye, both of you, and they'll be like, staring contests? Okay. Like, I don't get it. Like, stop. It looks so dumb. Like, just stop, you know? Why? Like, why? I don't get it, honestly. Like, what exactly you know? And the thing is, the stares, you can even read behind the stares, because me, I can read people's like facial expressions very well, and eyes. And from people's facial expressions, I can tell that you're not staring at me in awe, or you're not staring at me. I mean, I can tell the difference between when a child is staring at me and is going, "Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God," and when a grown white man is looking at me and going, I would like to taste that. I know the difference between those stares, okay? So when I complain, or when black people complain about the staring, we know what we're talking about. It's not friendly stares. Some stares are saying, get the fuck out of my country, you know? You can read like through their looks, and you can know that these people are just, it's not friendly, it's not welcoming. The stares are not welcoming. And stares in general are just wrong. I mean, when kids do it, I honestly don't mind. But when grown adults do it, I think something is wrong with them. Like, I really honestly think that this kind of people need to go to the psychiatric hospital and just go sit there, because honestly, you need medical attention and you kind of need help. Just saying. So, aside from those two things, there are other things that show me that there is racism in Poland. Like, people saying the N-word, people staring, people basically just treating me differently, just in general. Somebody even passed me and spat at me, but like, I mean, we're not. Poland is. I'm glad that Poland is not in the extent where the police will be shooting us down the street, even if it's still possible. I still don't. I'm still scared that that could happen, but I'm glad that that's not the situation here. When I talk about racism, I'm talking about those little, small, like, the main ones, the ones that, like, they're a bit too obvious, because I know almost everybody's racist. Like you can say every race is racist, but not every race has audacity. Do you get me? Like, of all people, Seth, to have audacity now is now the Polish people. Like, you guys were also enslaved. Why are you acting like you are better than black people in any way? I don't get it. That's a joke. That's a joke. Nobody's better than anybody just because of race. Let's just start there. But what I'm saying is that because Poland has been or has experienced some form of racism and slavery, and not all black people has experienced slavery, by the way, let me let you know that. But because you've experienced that, I feel like you should be able to sympathize with black people better than you do right now. I feel like you're not even allowed to be racist in general. You don't even qualify to have white privilege. And this is just my opinion. This is my podcast. I'm saying my thing. If you don't agree with me, head out. But I'm just joking. Yeah, it's okay if you don't agree with me. I don't care. But from what I know from the history, you guys should be a bit more sympathetic than, racist. And, oh yeah, I'm not saying all of you, by the way, before you come at me. It's not all of you, clearly, but I'm talking about those ones, those specific ones that just don't stop. Another thing I notice is that anytime I talk about anything about racism on my other channel, it's my other channel, my other account, I notice that a lot of people like to come at me saying that not all Polish people are racist. Not all Polish people are like this. You're generalizing. You're gonna get anger the whole country. No, my guy. I'm angry. You're angry. I angered you because you're triggered, because I'm talking about you. The shoe fits. So you're kind of triggered. It's not because when I post videos like that, there are still Polish people in the comments saying, I'm sorry you experienced this in my country, or I'm sorry that this is happening, or, just basically being decent human beings. But there are ones that want to tell me that I am provoking the country and I am dividing the country just because I have a point of view from my perspective of racism, from my own experiences. That is what is going to cause the division between two nations, isn't it? Like, I take it as a compliment, to be honest, because I guess they think that I have so much power within me to cause a division between two nations. Fire nation and air nation. I take it as a compliment, honestly, because how can one 21-year-old small girl just... my small opinion can divide two nations? That's crazy. See, first of all, the nations are already divided, my guy. I don't know what they mean by I'm causing division. It was already divided now. Whites versus blacks. It's always been like that. It's been like that for a very long time. So, what are you saying? And by the way, I didn't mean to say whites versus blacks in a very racist way. I meant to say white people versus black people, but... you know what I'm saying, quote unquote, whites versus blacks, because that's what they call it, and that's what they call us. So, yeah. Another opinion of mine is that I feel really bad for the educational system here in Poland. A lot of my Polish friends have told me that they don't teach them anything about Africa in Poland. And regardless of that, I just feel bad. I'm just saying I just feel bad about that, because that has actually allowed a certain level of ignorance to brew within the country. But Google is free. Even if they didn't teach you something in school, they didn't teach us everything in school. Half of the time, we learn things on our own. And if you don't know that Africa has water, or if you don't even know how many countries are in Africa, or what are the names of the countries, Google is free. Just Google it. Is it hard? Your fingers is not working. I'm just saying, the level of ignorance. Level of ignorance is just not for me, because I just don't understand how people can be so, unaware and tone deaf of their own environment and their own planet and what is really going on. How can you be living on the planet and you don't even know half the countries that are on it? What will happen if you get abducted and then the aliens drop you off on another planet? I said another planet, in another continent. How are you supposed to find yourself, find your way home? You get me? That's a very, very funny analogy, but imagine if that happens now and you get abducted and then they drop you on Earth in any other continent. You lost now. You don't know where you are because you don't know anything about your planet. Interesting, isn't it? Educate yourself about other countries, including Africa, because most Africans can even name half the countries in Europe. So it is embarrassing for those that even say go back to Africa, honestly. I'm getting tired now because I've been busy all day, but I'm just going to summarize the end of my podcast. So this is the last part. If there's anything I missed out or I didn't talk about, leave a comment and I'll address that. But then, in summary, yes, racism does exist in Poland. It is not as extreme as it is in America, but it does exist, and I'm telling you that for a fact because I have experienced and other people have experienced it within this country itself. Yes, the racism is caused by a very high number or high percentage of ignorance and uneducation, which is honestly for me it's self-inflicted because, you can easily just go and educate yourself, but it doesn't really affect our way of life on a daily basis. Honestly, as a black person, I can still go about my day and not, be harassed aggressively. So it does exist. It should be fixed, but it ain't that bad though. Just my facts.